For those of you who have enjoyed Embark's content, you'll know that they really enjoy hiding things in plain sight. Now this clip is from the release date trailer back in June, where they hinted at a new arc that no one's talking about. If you're familiar with Embark's other game, The Finals, you'll know that they have one of the most complicated Easter egg systems that has ever been put into a video game up until this point. After 2 years since launch, the community is still yet to have completed the Easter egg in its entirety. It's a multi-stage, multi-step process, and many of the steps and stages have been completed, but the community is still yet to complete the Easter egg. So if that's how Embark's going to do Easter eggs and puzzles, who's to say we don't have a lot more in store in Arc Raiders? For those of you keeping an eye on the background happenings, Arc Raiders and Embark released a 3-part docu-series that was recorded about a year ago on the creation, development, and the foundations of what Arc Raiders is meant to and supposed to be in the long run. This video series has a whole lot of really cool information in there, going over all of the PvE startup and the things that transitioned and why they ended up going the way they did. But on top of that, it is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to old footage and information that might be used to take a gleam at what might be coming. Embark is really good at hiding things. They do this in The Finals. They've already done this in Arc Raiders. The release date hint had a whole code thing that if you puzzled through it, you could find a countdown to when there was supposed to be information, even though it ended up just leading to another 5-month countdown. But Embark loves secrets, and I think we have a lot more in store for us. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about the importance of machine learning in this game. I feel like with a lot of games, it's too easy to become accustomed to the enemies that you're going to deal with, and they eventually just aren't scary anymore. Whereas in this game, it feels like the enemies are learning. It feels like they're always thinking, and they're always going to react differently to the situations you end up in. And that's really what the developers were trying to go for. They intentionally wanted that variability and that sense of awe when things happened that were even outside of the development, basically. Like, they give them the ability and the physics to do things, and then the freedom to fall apart in beautiful ways, which I think is really cool and creates a game design that feels nothing like anything that I've played before. And it's one of the reasons this game's so addicting. Fighting the AI is not boring, unlike most games where once you learn them, it's just the same thing on repetition. And throughout these last couple little docu-series, I've been able to collect a bunch of footage and look through a bunch of this stuff, and I found a bunch of really cool stuff in there, obviously including a bunch of footage of the Baron, so that might be something we get to see. And then, obviously weird, crazy stuff like this that looks like, early renditions of the Emperors. But I think it's just really cool seeing the levels and the stages of development and seeing what might be in store for us, which kind of brings us into our next topic, which is the hidden footage that I found. So the footage that I'm talking about came out back on June 6th. Arc Raiders did their whole little release announcement Easter egg thing with the countdown that counted down to June 6th. And on June 6th, they released a release date trailer that hinted at a couple things, including Bluegate, and then specifically the arc that I'm referencing that I haven't seen anyone else talk about up to this point. And so obviously there's a lot of really cool concept art in the game, and somebody might break this down to just being a rendition of something that was left in that's not actually going to be there. But I don't believe that they would have put this in the release trailer if they weren't intending on having this arc be actually in the game. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I've got a cool couple clips to show you guys. I found some footage of this actual arc that I'm currently referring to as the giraffe, so let's get into it. Before we dive in more to the video, I just want to take a quick second to say that the holidays are here, and with Christmas and New Year's right around the corner and my channel nearing 2,000 subscribers, I would really love to reach that threshold by the end of December. So if you enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It means a lot. And without further ado, let's get back to the video. Thanks. So as stated in that trailer, you get the first couple clips of Bluegate, and what is that? This is the thing that I'm talking about. I'm currently referring to it as the giraffe just because I don't have anything else to call it. I don't really know what it's supposed to be called, but that is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And I went back through and I found some footage. So this is the thing actually in action. You get to see some of its attack patterns. This thing looks absolutely fun to fight. Definitely quite a bit different than the other enemies that we have that are of this like category of like queen matriarch class, and I'm really excited for this. The animation for those like spinning leg parts is really cool, and overall I'm just super hyped about it. I think it's going to be a really cool addition, And I'd love to hear people's opinions on where this might fit in. Do you think it's just going to be another event kind of like the Matriarch where it's really just a boss fight? Or do you think it's going to be something more along the lines of the Queen Harvester event where we actually get a whole event attached to it? I'm really curious what everybody thinks. I'm really excited about finding this footage. Again, since June, I've been keeping an eye trying to find footage that applies to this little hint that was in the trailer. And I'm so happy that we finally found it. So again, if you guys haven't checked it out, all of the links are down in the comments down below for all of the docu-series, because I did grab some footage from those, and I would definitely recommend checking them out. So if you haven't, go take a peek at those. Now, inevitably, while going through all this footage, I did also just come across a lot of unreleased footage and things that the community may or may not have seen, whether or not that's hints towards new bots that we might have, or bots that were precursors or pre-renditions to what we currently see in the game. I think it's at least worth talking about some of them, talking about some of the ones I would like to see in the game, things that might fit well, things that look like they're mostly completed and might be coming soon, and just a couple of other things like that. Again, there's just so much in these. I really would recommend watching all 3 of them. They're only about 20 minutes each, so it's only about an hour. So, you know, when you hop off the game at the end of the night and winding down, go take a peek at these, go watch them. It supports Embark, but also it is just really fun information and gives you a lot about the game. So again, I found a couple different clips. We're going to go through some of the things that I'm the most excited about and the things that I would like to see in the game the most. So we're going to start that off with the quadruped. This feller is unlike any of the other things that we have in the game, and obviously this is pretty early footage, so it might not be the most developed concept yet, but at the end of the day, I think something like the quadruped would be a really cool rendition. Similar to the leaper, there's nothing else like the leaper, and the quadruped would be in its own category. I'm not sure what weaponry or attacks it has built into it, but something like this would be very different from a lot of the other Ark, and I totally understand why they're using similar structures to build Ark in certain ways, but more unique Ark would be really fun, and I feel like that's something that would be awesome for them to work towards. Now, going on to something that we've already seen a bit more of, the Baron is something that we're all familiar with. We see the Baron husks around the map, and you've seen throughout this video, there's a lot of footage of the Baron, especially from, I think it is milestone 12 footage. The Baron seems like it's mostly completed, and I'm not sure if they just reworked the Baron's attack patterns to become the Queen or something like that, but I feel like the Baron might be one of the other big arcs we can look to see at some point soon, and I would be really excited about that because I feel like the Baron just kind of fits into the play of the game. It's something we're already all familiar with, and I think it would just be, you know, a nice addition to have a slightly smaller big boss. The Baron seem like they'd be a good bit easier to take down than the Queen since they're a lot smaller, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think down below. On to one of the other bits of footage. I found this, which this creature looks a lot more spindly than any of the other larger Ark we have. The legs go up way above the body frame, and it looks more similar to like a giant tick. So again, something like this would be kind of cool. I did also find this footage of what looks to be a 4-legged tick that's a little bit larger, and again, something like that inside of buildings, especially on maybe Stella Montis, would be really cool. I think more alteration in some of these smaller Ark we see would be great. Obviously, we can keep adding big, scary Ark that are boss fights, but I think that something that actually will change the game more significantly would be more small Ark that you interact with on the same level basis as you do wasps, hornets, ticks, pops, and fireballs, if that makes sense. Now, the last bit of footage that I want to go over here is a little bit more of a wild long shot. But in this footage, you see that there used to be vehicles, and this was back when the entire map was one large map area that you had to traverse over, so I understand why vehicles might have been taken out. And I don't think this exact vehicle would fit in the current gameplay, but some sort of small little vehicle, whether or not it's like a forklift that you can carry your team across the map, I think it would just be hilarious. How funny would it be to drive a forklift through Stella Montis with your team sitting on top of it? I know it's kind of ridiculous, but the finals was originally supposed to have cars and mopeds, and they never put those in. So I think it would be kind of cool if they added some sort of silly little thing. Again, honestly, a disrepaired moped would go hard in Ark Raiders. So anyways, with that, everybody, that's all I've got for you today. That covers all of the footage that I found, and then a little bit of extra silly fun stuff for you guys. Let me know your opinions down in the comments down below. Let me know what you're most excited for out of the content that I've covered in this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Best of luck out there, Raiders.